So hello all, good morning. So as of now, we worked on core ABAP objects like reports or creating class methods or creating data conversion programs. These all comes under core ABAP. So we have another concept ABAP on Hana. So in this ABAP on Hana, we have concepts like CDS views, AMDPs. So these two important concepts we have in the ABAP on Hana topic. So today we'll see what is CDS view, like, and what is the use of CDS view, and why we use this ABAP on HANA concepts. In the traditional ABAP coding, usually what we do to select the data from the database. How can we select the data from database?
By writing select queries.
Yeah. So we call those select queries are open SQL statements, right? So those select statements are open SQL statements, right? So those select statements, like irrespective of the backend database, those select statements will select the data from backend database and present it to the application layer, right? Once we got the data, what we are doing in the application layer level in the program, we are looping it, or we are applying some calculations on that internal table data to prepare one our final output, right? We are going to select data from multiple tables, apply some calculations, or do some data aggregations, and we are going to prepare one final data, right? So which can be displayed to the user, a final output, right? For that, first we need to select the data from backend database table using OpenSQL statements, and we need to apply aggregations using some loops, right? And then we are presenting the data, final data, to the user. We are not presenting the raw data, right? Whatever the data we have selected, because we are going to select thousands of records. We should not display those thousands of records, right? We should only display aggregated data. For example, employee average salary, right? For that, what we need to do, we need to select all the employee salary records for each employee, and we need to find the aggregated amount, average amount. For that, we need to do some aggregation. All these calculations, right, in traditional ABAP, where we do all these calculations, the application
In
layer.
application.
We are selecting the data from database layer, and we are doing all these calculations in application layer. First, tell me, when you selected the data from the database, it should be transferred to the application layer, right? Yes or no? To transfer this
Yes.
data, since we are selecting all the records, right, without aggregate or without the aggregated data, so the data volume is high, so it will take time to transfer from database to application layer, right? And then we are applying calculations in the application layer. That's called data to code. What is data code? Select the It's called data to code. So as part of ABAP and HANA, a new approach is introduced, that is code push down. Code push down technique. What is code push down technique? We can achieve code push down technique using CDS views and AMDPs. So what is code push down? The code push down technique is, instead of doing complex calculations in the application layer by selecting large volume of data, instead of doing calculations in the application layer level, what we do, we select the data from the, we do complex calculations in the database level only, and get only the result data. So we are going to get only the result data. Okay, we are not going to get all the records and doing the calculations in application layer. We select the data in database level, apply the calculations or aggregations in the database level only, and we are going to get only that final output. Okay, which can be displayed to the user. So here we don't need to transfer large amount of data from database to application layer. So we are pushing these complex calculations to database only. In the database itself, we are executing all these complex calculations. Okay. So what is code push down technique? Instead of executing the complex calculation in the data application layer, so instead of executing the complex calculations in application layer level, so we select the data from the database. Like in our example, it is HANA database. Otherwise, CDS views are database independent, right? So mostly in S4 HANA, we are going to use HANA database only. So we select the data from direct database tables in the database level and apply the complex calculations, and only send only the limited data records with final output, right? So here we are reducing data volume transferred from database to application level, right? And also there are certain advantages of HANA database. So tomorrow I'll explain in detail about HANA database features. There are certain advantages of HANA database, like column store tables and multi-core parallel processing. So HANA database contains column store tables. In the traditional RDBMS or in the traditional database systems, we use row store tables. We use row store tables. The data will be saved in row store tables like this. For example, consider it as a table record, how it is stored in the database. So this is the traditional row store table. How data will be stored in the row store table in the backend database. This is how it stores the data in a sequence, right? If you take column store table, it won't store data for each record like this. It will maintain one table for employee records, employee ID, and it will maintain one separate table for one separate column store table for name, and it will maintain one separate table for city. How many records will be created in the city column store table? Can you tell me? This is employee ID column store table. This is employee name column store table. And how many records will be created for this kind of data in the city column store table? Only two records. It won't maintain duplicate data. It won't maintain repeated entries. Hyderabad is repeating, right? It won't maintain that repeated entry in the city column store table. But using some index, this city will be connected with the employee ID 100 and employee ID 200. Okay. So by using column store tables, we are reducing, we are improving database space, right? So we can reduce duplicate data. We can reduce duplicate data. So by using Hana database, for example, if it takes 100 GB to store data in the traditional any traditional database, if you take Hana database, since it is using column store table, it might take only 40 GB to store all the same data records, because it is using column store tables, and here we are not using duplicate entries. Okay, we are not using duplicate entries. Here if you take these two employees, city is same, but if you take row store tables, you need to maintain same city multiple times in each record. But if you take column store tables, you don't need to maintain the repeated entries. It will maintain only unique entries. Also here we have data compression. In Hana we have data compression, which reduce the size of the database. It like the data the space it occupies. Okay, we can save a lot of database space when using Hana database. If we come back to the code push down technique, so we are executing complex business logics in Hana database level and returning the data to ABAP application programming layer, and display the data to the user, present the data to the user by using code push down technique. Is everyone clear?
Yes, sir.
So how to achieve code push down technique? So we have CDS views and AMDPs, which executes in the database level and returns the data to the application layer. Okay. Again, CDS views there are two different types of CDS views: ABAP CDS views and Hana CDS views. So ABAP CDS views can be integrated with OpenSQL. What do you mean by OpenSQL? The select statements what we write in the ABAP application layer, right? Hana CDS views can be implemented only in the database level, Hana database level, to expose database records to the external applications, right? That is not relevant to ABAP, right? We can use Hana CDS views directly on the Hana database to provide data to the external applications. But here we are using for code push down ABAP CDS views, which can be integrated with OpenSQL. What do you mean by integration? We can write select statements on the CDS views, right? Just like tables, you can select data from the CDS views, but actual calculations will happen in a backend database, and it will only present you the result data. Okay. So what is the definition of CDS view? Core data service. Okay. So SAP CDS views means core data services. So what is a CDS view? Okay. So CDS views are virtual data models used to achieve code push down. You know code push down, right? Everyone clear on code push down, right? So we are going to execute complex business calculations in the database instead of executing in application, right? As of now, if you write any ALV report, you are selecting the data using OpenSQL statements, that means select statements, that might be using joins or for entries, and you are applying some calculations on the data, and you are returning the final output to the and you are displaying the final output. But if you use CDS views, so you have to select the data in database level, and you have to apply calculations in the database level, and you have to present that final output to the application layer program. So you are reducing lot of unnecessary data transmission between database and application layer. You don't need to transfer huge amount of data, huge volume of data from the database to application layer, right? So we can do that calculations, and we can provide only the result data, not everything, right? So when we execute CDS views in HANA database level, we are also leveraging, or we are also using capabilities of HANA, like in-memory database. HANA is the in-memory database. So again, I'll explain in detail about tomorrow. So HANA is the in-memory database, like it stores data in the RAM level. Also, HANA supports column store tables for read optimized column store tables. Column store tables are read optimized. Reading data is very faster in column store tables than row store tables. Okay. So by using all these features, so when we do code push down using CDS view, the execution of the business logic is very faster than normal OpenSQL statements. Okay, we can also compare the performance of the application when you use traditional OpenSQL statements versus core data services, like by using code push down technique. Okay, again CDS views are database independent. You can also use CDS views on other databases, not only on HANA. But when you use CDS views on HANA database, we can we can use capabilities of HANA like in-memory database and column store tables or and multi-core parallel processing advantages when you use it on HANA. But CDS views are not database dependent. So the main advantage of CDS view is code push down. So we can execute complex business functionalities in a database itself instead of executing in a application layer. Okay. So CDS views is a it's not a database independent. It's a database sorry it's database independent. It's not database dependent. Okay. So it will provide direct access to the HANA database tables. Okay. So there are different types of CDS views. So there are different types of CDS views like normal CDS view, parameter CDS view, CDS view with joins and associations. There are different things. But first thing we need to start like how to create a CDS view, where to create a CDS view. We cannot create CDS views in normal SAP GUI. Okay. So we cannot create CDS views in normal SAP GUI. So where can we create a CDS view? CDS view, to create the CDS view, we need a special editor called Eclipse or Hana Studio. Let me show you. In our server, we have a, you can find Hana Studio. Go to search and find. Somewhere you can find Hana Studio. This is the application. This is also Eclipse based application. Anyone of you know Eclipse? Where you can write Java applications, UI applications by adding some add-ons, right? It's a free source. You can download it freely, and you need to add ABAP development tools if you don't have HANA Studio. Okay. So you need to download and install Eclipse, and you need to add ABAP development tools. It's a URL. You can search in Google. SAP development tools. Go to SAP development tools. So you need to provide that URL here. I'll show you once it is open. Let's assume if it is your Eclipse environment. If you go to Windows, sorry, not Windows, Help. When you open Eclipse, if you go to Help, here you have install new software option. Install new software. Here you need to provide this URL, ABAP development tools URL, right? You can see the support versions. For which version of Eclipse, what is the URL you have to use? Okay. For Eclipse Oxygen version, this is the URL. For recent versions of the Eclipse, this is the URL. You just need to copy this URL and paste here. Depends on the compatibility, it will show the ABAP development tools. Let me try the old tools since HANA Studio is built on old version of the Eclipse. If you see this, it will automatically show the development tools. You need to select and install it. Click on finish. So it will add that development tools like for ABAP, for BW, for HANA, right? So if you are in Eclipse, first you need to add the ABAP development tools to your Eclipse environment, and you can start using your ABAP development like CDS views or AMDPs. So you can only create CDS views in Eclipse or on HANA Studio. Okay. Let me show you how to create a project and how to create a simple CDS view. So this is HANA Studio this SAP tool, SAP Workbench tool developed by SAP on Eclipse. Okay, it's not SAP's own tool, but it's developed on the Eclipse environment only. Okay, first we need to add the project. First we need to add the project. Once you install the ABAP development tools, right? First, the prerequisite to use Eclipse is you need to install ABAP development tools. You know, right? How to install ABAP development tools? Go to help, install new softwares, and go to this URL tools.hana.ondemand.com, or you can also just search for ABAP development tools. So you need to use any of this URL, depends on your Eclipse version. Okay, check your Eclipse version and use any relevant URL here. Okay, copy the URL and go to help, install new softwares, paste the URL and press enter. It will show all the development tools here, including ABAP, BW, right, Hana. Select whatever the tools required. For example, if you need only ABAP development tools, select only ABAP development tools and click on next and finish. Actually, we don't need this because these are already installed. ABAP development tools are already installed. Okay. It's trying to install again, but I'll cancel it. I'll cancel this since these are already installed in our HANA Studio. Okay. Now, once the tools are installed, once you open the HANA Studio, you can see perspectives here. This is BW perspective where you can create BW objects. This is ABAP perspective. You can see this. This is ABAP perspective where you can work on ABAP objects, ABAP developments, right? Also, you can select the perspective here. You can see different perspectives: ABAP, BW, Java. Like Java, these are for other things, and HANA development. For database development objects, you need to select SAP HANA development perspective, right? HANA modeling perspective where we create views, virtual data models like analytical views, attribute views, and calculation views, right? Since you are working on CDS views, you need to select ABAP perspective. Select the ABAP perspective and you need to create a project. How to create a project? Here, go to File, New, if ABAP project, or you can also have a shortcut here, a New, and select the ABAP. It will create a ABAP project. This one, ABAP project. First, you need to create the project, right? First, you need to create the project. How to create a project? New, select ABAP project, and you can see all your log and pad entries here. Whatever the entries that are already maintained in your SAP GUI, you can see all of them here. Select on which server you want to create the project. Is it on 2021, 2022? For example, select 2022, right? Provide your system ID and the application server. This will be automatically populated, right? Click on next. Provide your user ID and password including client. Client is 800, right? Click on finish. This is the prerequisite to start with ABAP development. You need to add a project. Now I've added my project. Looks like other users are already added different projects. Now this is the project which I've added on SAP 2022 system. Okay. Now here you can access all your ABAP applications in Eclipse environment. By using this project, you can access all your ABAP objects in your Eclipse environment. For example, if you go to local object, you can see all the custom developments, whatever you created in the GUI level. It is same server. Actually, you are accessing the same server. Okay. Instead of accessing applications in GUI level, you are accessing in HANA Studio. Okay. Let me expand this local. We are creating by using best user ID, right? So all are created under best. If you go to uh, dictionary, if you go to dictionary, you can see all the tables, all the database tables, data elements, domains. You can see here. If you see, it will load all the tables which are stored in the local object, because we are checking in the local object, right? So all the tables stored under local object will be displayed here. If you see here, these are all the local tables. Double click, double click on any table. This is a table syntax. This is a table syntax. You can also create table using this syntax in HANA Studio, not only using SE11, right? You can also use this syntax to create the table, database table. I'll show you in the next sessions. Okay. So this is the table, or whatever the objects you created in GUI level, you can access all of them in HANA Studio. Okay. And how to create a CDS views, programs and everything you can access. Program you can access in source code library. So where can you access your programs like which you have created in GUI level? Here in source code library. If you click on the source code library, you can see all the programs you created, including classes, function modules, include programs and interfaces. So these are all the programs created in the GUI, right? You can also execute the programs here. Just execute ABAP, execute as ABAP application. It will show you the selection screen. Enter the inputs and execute it. It will display the output. So whatever the options you have in SAP GUI, you have same options here. You can execute the programs. You can create the programs. To create a new program in Eclipse, what you need to do? Select your package. Since we are using local package, I mean local $TMP. Otherwise, you need to select proper package in the system library. Here you have a lot of other packages. So you need to select your package and right click and create it. Okay. For example, if you want to create it in local object, click on new, right click on the package and click on new, like other ABAP repository objects, and you need to select whatever the object you have to create. Okay. Otherwise, go inside the package, and if you want to create a table, right click on the data dictionary, new, data element, database table, domain, what is the object you want to create, including search help and everything, table type, right? Or if you want to create a program, right click on the source code library, create new class, function group, nothing but function module, sorry, which we use in the function module. Or if you want to create a new function module, or if you want to create a new program, click on program. Or if you want to create a new include program, click ABAP include program. Okay. Just try it in Eclipse. Okay. Just try it in HANA Studio. How to create these objects. Okay. Now, how to create core data service which executes in the database level. You can see here core data services, right? Right click on this, create new, select data definition, provide the CDS view name. For example, Z demo CDS. You can use underscore as well to separate the name. Okay. How to create new core data service? Right click on the core data service, right, and create data definition and provide the description. Right click, click on new, select data definition, provide the name, okay, and provide the description. Click on next. Since we are using local object, it won't generate any transport request. Click on next. Here we have different types of CDS views, right? Here we have different types of CDS views. Depends on your requirement. We need to select. This is simple CDS view, and this is using joins. CDS views using joins. This is CDS views using associations, and this is CDS views using parameters, and there are entity and other CDS views. The main important views are normal CDS view, CDS view with join, CDS view with association, and CDS view with parameter. Okay, so we'll select a basic CDS view, define view. Just select define view. It will automatically generate some basic syntax. Click on finish. Observe here, these are called annotations. These are called annotations. Whatever starting with at the date, right? These are called annotations. These annotations are used to add special functionalities to the CDS view. Okay, some special features or special functionalities to the CDS view, and there are some mandatory annotations to be added when you are creating CDS view, like SQL view name. These are ABAP catalog annotations, right? And SQL view name. SQL view name is nothing but a data dictionary view. So whenever you create a CDS view, it will automatically generate one data dictionary view. We have to provide that name. Z CDS demo underscore DDIC. Provide some name. Okay. So it will generate a data dictionary view which we can access in SC11. Okay. And this is the CDS view name. And as select from, what you need to provide here, define view is the syntax to create the CDS view. Define view, CDS view name, as select from. For example, let me take LFA1, and provide the fields. Whatever the fields you want to select, provide the fields here. Listener, I'll define it as a key field, comma. What are the other fields we have in LFA1? Name 1, comma. What are the other fields? Okay, let me select only these two fields. You can also use alias names here. Instead of listener, you can display it as a vendor. Okay, instead of name 1, you can create field as a vendor name, like this. So these are called alias names. Okay, you can also create like this. Now our CDS view is completed. A simple CDS view is completed. Now how to test this? First, check the CDS view for any errors and activate the CDS view. Press this button to activate it. So CDS view is activated. If there are any errors, right? For example, I'm not using proper name, proper table field name. Check the syntax. It is showing the error. The main advantage of using Eclipse, right, or Eclipse or Hana Studio, right, it will display online errors, inline errors. In SAP GUI, you need to create all the program and you need to press syntax check, right? Then only it will show the errors, right? But here in Eclipse, whenever you are typing, right, it will automatically show the errors like this. It will show this symbol for each line. You don't need to wait until you write all the functionality. It will display on the same line immediately if there is any error. Okay. If you do the syntax check, so the errors will be displayed in problems. Here you can see the column listener is unknown. Listener. The error is gone now automatically, right? So we have inline error handling here, like it will automatically show the errors if there is any syntax error. It is same for programs also. If you write any ABAP programs, it will show inline errors. Activate the CDS view. Now how to test the CDS view? Run as ABAP application. It is showing. Now if you observe, column names are changed, right? Column names are changed. It is the data which we are selecting. We are not filtering any data here, right? We can filter using parameter. Now my CDS view is ready, but I'm not doing any complex calculations here. It's a very simple data selection. Even if you can simply use a normal select statement instead of using CDS view. There is no additional advantage of using CDS view for this functionality because we are not doing any calculations. We are just selecting some records. Now how to use this in your program? Now let me show you GUI. Or you can also create program here. Let me show you how to create program here. Go to source code library, create new program, just demo CDS view. Whatever we can do in GUI, I am doing same here. Okay, no difference. Finish. This is the program. Okay, I just want to show how we can use CDS views. We can use CDS views in different ways in the ABAP programs as virtual data models to extract the data as data sources, right? So simply, I'll write a simple select statement. Select. What is our CDS view name? Which one we need to use? Data dictionary view or CDS view? We need to use CDS view, not the data dictionary view in the select statement. Select star from into table. It is showing inline errors at the rate data lt underscore vendor. That's it. I am not filtering any data. Activate the program. Sorry, we need to write something to display the output. Okay. Now activate the program. Now we are not selecting the data from the database table. We are selecting the data from CDS view. Okay. Will the CDS view stores the data permanently? No, it won't store it. Just a virtual data model on top of database tables. Okay. The actual data will be selected from the database tables. Execute the program as a ABAP application. Vendor and vendor name. From where this data is coming from? From CDS view. Okay. We're able to access uh, CDS view in the program like this in the select statement. That's what I told you, right? So CDS views are integrated with OpenSQL. So we are using OpenSQL statement to select the data from CDS view. Okay. So we have different other types of CDS views, advanced CDS views. So we'll see in the next session. Okay. Everyone, please practice how to create a CDS view and how to create programs in Hana Studio, Eclipse based environment. Because SAP is recommending to use Eclipse based editors instead of using traditional GUI. Okay. For all cloud programming and everything, you need to have experience on using Hana Studio or Eclipse. Okay. Everyone try to use Hana Studio. Create any basic objects like programs and CDS views. I'll explain in detail about CDS views and HANA database in the next session. Okay.